All right, it's 9:31, October the 11th, which is Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. We'll bring the regular session of Commissioners Court to order. Let the record show Larry Hulsey, John Curtis, Danny Chambers, Kenneth Wood, and Don Cramps are all present. Would you please join us in the pledges?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Larry?
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for blessing this county, Father. Father, you say that all good deals come from above. Thank you, Father. In Jesus' name.
All right, item number 3, approve the minutes of the previous Commissioners Court.
And we've got 4, 2 on the 12th of September, 1 on the 26th, and 1 on the 29th. And please, I make a motion that we approve those 4 meeting minutes for previous meetings.
I have a motion from John, and I have a second by Kenneth. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor of said motion? It's 5 for, 0 against. All right, Lisa, would you want to come up to the microphone or sit at the table, or the next several items? I think it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We'll take them one at a time, but they're all dealing with, doesn't cost the county any money at this time. It's just contracts, interlocal agreements we have to have in place in case we have to place juveniles. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, so item number 4, to discuss, take action on contract between G4S Youth, the Oaks, Brownwood, and Somervell County Juvenile Probation Department.
Yes, this is a renewal contract, and it
Turn your
is.
mic on, Lisa, just hit, there you go. Thank you.
Is that better? This is a renewal contract. G4S is a secure facility in Brownwood that helps with kids with mental health issues, is one of their main focuses. So it's just if we need these types of services, we already had this contract in place. We found recently we haven't needed a lot of these services, which is a good thing, but just in case. So I would just recommend approval.
So on item number 4, if there's no further questions, we'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion by John. Second. A second by Kenneth. Any further questions or discussion for Lisa?
Oh, you don't discuss the next 2?
I am.
Okay.
All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against. Item number 5, discuss, take action on contract between Grayson County Juvenile Board and Somervell County Juvenile Probation Department.
This is both a pre- and post-adjudication contract, and the only time we would use the pre-adjudication, which is detention, is more commonly referred to, is if Granbury is full. And we've been finding that Granbury is staying pretty full, so we're putting into place some additional contracts to be able to accommodate for that, just in case. They also have a post-adjudication program, which is the treatment side, and most of their treatment is general offender. However, they do have sex offender treatment as well, which is a specialized residential cost. And I would also recommend approval.
Do we have any questions about this facility?
Which I noticed the cost is going up. Did you notice that?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's going up all over the state, actually. There's a set amount which this falls within the line of that, set by the state, that these facilities, we actually can't pay out-of-state money any more than what the state sets as a standardized rate. And these both fall underneath that rate, so we're fine with that. Although it's expensive. Anytime you're treating one of these kids, it gets very expensive.
And as a reminder, this is primarily paid from state money anyway.
Right.
This is the only time the Somervell County money would be used is if we use the state.
Where the
money.
state get their money?
I understand, I understand.
Yeah.
But we deal with unfunded mandates so many times, I just want to make sure that we know that this is actual money there we do get to use.
How you doing this morning, Brian?
Well, sir.
Good.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Larry.
Second.
I have a second by Kenneth. Do we have any further questions or discussion for Lisa on this particular contract? All in favor of said motion? 5 for, 0 against. Item number 6, discuss take action on contract between Gulf Coast Trade Center and Somervell County Juvenile Probation Department. Back to you, Lisa.
Gulf Coast is a placement facility that is, even though it's called Gulf Coast, it's really not on the Gulf Coast. It basically does basic offenders, males, and does, teaching them trades. It's a trade school. So,
Vocational.
vocational, thank you. So, yes. So I'd also recommend approval. Again, it's just if we need it, we haven't used them in several years, but, you know, it's easier to get some of these done all at one time than it is to come one at a time.
Make a motion that we approve the Gulf Coast Trade Center, Somervell County Juvenile Probation Department.
I have a motion by John,
Second.
second by Kenneth. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor of said motion? 5 for, 0 against. Item number 7, discuss take action on contract between the Juvenile Board of Limestone, Freestone County, and Somervell County Juvenile Probation Department.
This is another one of the detention contracts pre-adjudication, and it's primarily for, again, just if Granbury is full, it gives us another location to be able to take kids. It's a small facility, and they don't, so that this facility sometimes stays full as well, but it's a good option, so I would recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve the Juvenile Board of Limestone, Freestone County.
I have a motion by John,
Second.
second by Kenneth. Any further questions or discussion for Lisa? All in favor of said motion? 5 for, 0 against. We're getting close, Lisa. Item number 8.
Item number 8 is, I'm not sure which one is which here. One of them is a pre-adjudication, and 9 is the same, as you can see, the same company. One is a post-adjudication. So this is the Granbury facility.
Right of passage.
Rite of Passage is the owner now of the Granbury facility. And so these next 2 actually are both theirs. One, again, is pre, and one is the post for treatment. So I hated to combine, but I'm not sure which one's which.
Yeah, we can take them one at a time. Discuss Rite of Passage Incorporated, Somervell County Juvenile Probation Department. And the first one I show here is for residential services, and the second one short-term detention services.
Okay, so residential is post.
First one, okay?
Yes.
So this one will be contract with residential services with Rite of Passage Incorporated, which is in Granbury.
Make a motion.
I have a motion by Kenneth,
Second.
have a second by John. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against. And it looks like we're to the last one. This is also a contract between Rite of Passage Incorporated, Somervell County Juvenile Probation Department, which is for short-term detention services.
Short-term detention is also pre-adjudication, you know, all those words kind of all go together. So it is the detention contract. And would also recommend approval.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Kenneth. Second. I have a second by Don. Any further questions or discussion for Lisa? All in favor of said motion? 5 for, 0 against. Thank you very much, Lisa.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time. And hopefully we don't use very many of these.
Yes.
Okay, item number 10, presentation by Betty Gausser regarding the historical markers placement for the city. How you doing? Ms. Gosling?
As some of you know, the Preservation Board of the City of Glenrose, the Heritage Center, and Dr. Baker's Charlton graduate students worked on a project to designate the whole downtown area of Glenrose as not only a state but a national historic district. And that was passed, and the city would like to put a marker designating that. Since the courthouse is the center of our historic district, we would like to place the historic marker on the courthouse grounds. Excuse me. I marked 3 places on here that we chose. Number 1 place we'd like to put it is opposite of the one that's already on the courthouse, there by the steps that marks the courthouse as a historical marker. And it would look exactly like the one that's there. We'd have it built to match, and the city would pay for that. If that doesn't suit, we marked 2 or 3 on that donor brick walk. There's 2 little areas that go up and down. Those would have to be a lower one, so we wouldn't block anything. But those were our number 2 or 3 choice. I marked those in red on paper. What I'm asking for is approval to put that marker on, and you tell me where.
And what I did on here, we just had the presentation for today, so each one of us can go over there and look and see exactly what, where we're at, and then I'll put it on November agenda.
Oh, okay.
And we'll take their recommendation, where they want to put it, and we'll go ahead and vote at that time. And do they have to have it made? I mean, are we up against a time
Well,
frame?
no,
Okay.
we have to order it from the State Historical Commission,
Okay,
and that will take a while.
okay.
And in the meantime, though, we can have the rock structure built and attach it after it comes.
Okay. Each one of us will go over there one at a time and look at it and see what we want to do, and then we'll discuss it in November and vote on it, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Goss. All right. Item number 11, discuss, take action on Heritage Center supervision volunteers and procedure for expenditures of the center. As we all know, it's being ran by strictly volunteers now. If Betty has any, I'm sorry, if Ms. Cousin has any input or Paula has any input. But since the reason we had Peggy over, because we had employees there dealing with sick leave, vacation time, things like that. We don't have that anymore. So my recommendation was, since there's not a department head, we would have Paula, if y'all are in agreement, let her take and run with the historical commission. They've already secured a site at the library to move their items. It's just, Terry, I think, is having a tough time with some of the folks that's helping him move it. So maybe Paula can help organize and move that forward as far as moving into the library.
Jerry's also been sick.
I know a lot of people fighting allergies and problems. And then Paula can also help with the digitizing, moving forward of what's there in the genealogy. And then any expenditures, Brian, would you rather them come through you, or would you rather come through Paula and you? How do y'all want to do that?
Having Paula be we already have an existing procedure for expenditures, purchase orders, things like that. I mean, if Paula's in charge, responsible of signing those authorizations and things, that fits already within our procedures. So,
Okay.
I
And
mean,
as
the
far as-
budget guides us.
And as far as the volunteers go, I think y'all pretty much got that in hand now, don't you? I see Mary Ann and Walter and
We had a meeting earlier last week, and what we're gonna do is close on Monday, but some of us are gonna be there, and it's gonna be a work day. Whoever can be there is gonna work, and they were there yesterday. I'm doing Tuesday now, Walter and I are. Wednesday is Lynn Rice and John Taylor. Thursday is Mary Ann, and Friday's Mona Boyd.
Cool.
So we've got those 4 days covered. And then we have a list of volunteers that are gonna fill in case somebody has to be off.
all right. So I guess what I'm asking, if y'all are in agreement with that, I need a motion to actually put Paula over that to move things forward at the Heritage Center.
I'll make a motion for that.
I have a motion from Kenneth.
Second.
I have the second by Don. Do we have any further questions or discussion? All in favor of said motion, 5 for, 0 against. Item number 12, discuss take action on revised sick leave pool policy. Michelle and Susie, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is one which was brought to our attention that the people don't have to have a complete 40 in their time after they donate, then we have more that might be willing to donate. Is that correct? Okay. Right now, which y'all may or may not remember, you have to have 48 hours. You can donate 8, but you have to retain 40 at this time for yourself. So if we put that at any amount, 8, 16, 24, then apparently there's more people willing to donate to that pool. Paula says she doesn't oppose either one way or advocate either direction. It's just that she wanted direction from the court before she actually changed the policy, which makes sense. So if we have any questions, maybe Michelle, Susie, or myself can answer them. And the reason that it says 3, maybe y'all remember we're the 3 that's on the board that, you know, administer the hours. And then Brian is the alternate if one of us have a reason we need to abstain or if we're not able to attend. Main thing is, I guess we need a motion to change it if we want to change it or discuss it.
I'll make a motion to change it.
All right, I have a motion by John. I have a second by Larry and Kenneth. We'll take Kenneth. Any further questions or discussion?
Okay, let's go over this in better detail.
There you go.
What is the issue and what are we trying to correct?
Okay, right now, and ladies jump in here and help me if any time. Right now, you have to have 48 hours before you can donate 8 hours.
Okay.
And you have to retain 40 hours,
Okay.
the way it's currently written.
Okay.
People, the way we're understanding it, would donate, 8, 16, but they wouldn't have 40 left in their pool. So that way they'll never get to a point that they could actually donate to the pool. Am I saying that right?
And basically what we're trying to get is that in order to use it, you have to be a part of the actual,
Yes.
like, I guess, a member of the pool.
If you don't donate at
Once
least
a
8,
year.
then you
You have
cannot
to
use
donate
it.
once a year, 8 hours.
Right.
You
But
can
you have to
donate
have 48 to donate.
right now, yes.
And that's the restriction we're trying to
Yes.
deal with, is
We're trying
reduce
to-
the 48
Yes.
requirement so that others will be eligible to donate hours.
Yes, and be a member of the pool for a year.
Yes. Any further questions?
Would you clarify what you're dropping it to in your motion?
Is the question you're reestablishing a lower limit?
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes,
And what is that lower limit?
that's for the court to establish.
Well, that wasn't presented to the court.
Do y'all want, what do you feel comfortable with? 8, you donate 8? If you want to donate 8, because it's up to the individual anyhow.
I would say 8. That would drop them down to 0, but they would accrue the next pay period, so, I would think that that would make sense. If they have 8 hours, they can donate that and be a member of the pool for a year, and then they'll start accruing more. It's just,
I think each individual will have to determine if they can afford to give
yes, and it
That's
is a
exactly
choice.
right.
or not, so.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
Is that a second motion?
No, we
Okay,
just.
I'd say 8 hours. I revised my motion to drop it from 48 hours to 8 hours.
Yes.
Okay.
You still say with that, Kenneth? Any further questions or discussion? All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against. Discuss, take action on revised termination clearance form. Paula, do you want to come up and discuss that? copy in their packet.
You can see it, probably
I made a copy.
on iPad.
Don, you have one? No,
You can look at that,
Since the court, per the government code, the court has to approve all relevant forms related to the sick pool. And then discussing with Susie the contributions that have not been being made when people leave employment with the county. We decided to incorporate donations, outgoing donations into the termination form to help supervisors remember to ask exiting employees if they want to donate.
Because
Sick
we don't
time.
always see them.
Right.
To see if they
Per
want to
per
donate
code, when,
unused.
if I leave employment with the county, I can donate up to 80 hours of sick leave time on my way out the door.
to a pool.
To the pool for people to use if they're allowed to, if they apply. So we're not getting that done. So I want to make it all one thing to help everyone remember, hey, you can donate your sick leave time on the way out. So that's pretty much it.
Any questions or discussion for Paula? Let's see the wheels turn.
Brian, I'm from a
The county.
county staff, I'm funded mandate technical. What kind of impact do you see this potentially having?
Overall, it doesn't, because we're taking it from, I mean, it's.
An existing?
An existing, we
number?
don't
Okay.
compensate sick leave upon termination anyway. So there is no ongoing liability to the county on our books for it. It's, when someone leaves the county, they don't get paid for their unused sick leave or unused vacation. It's all just forfeited anyway.
But in a sense though,
It's available for someone to use.
right, so in that sense, it kind of could be.
Right, but it doesn't fit the definition of a true liability to the county, because we're not under any obligation to pay it. You know, it's out there, we'll pay it if they use it, but upon separation of service, there is no liability to cut a check for it.
Yes and no, because if I do decide or elect to donate it, then I just obligated that many hours.
Right.
That could be.
That could be, that's why the liability's not there, it could be.
Okay,
It's not a for sure.
okay.
Well, it sounds like a good idea. Why do you want to do it?
Because when a person applies for the pool, if they're a member and they apply to actually use some of that sick time, you can have a third of the pool or up to 100.
I think it was 480, wasn't it? Whichever's less.
I can't remember. It's whatever's less. And I think if you've only got 100 hours in the sick pool,
You can only use 30.
you can only use, 33, right? And right
So it's a
now,
way to
we're,
keep the pool,
yes, to have enough in there to actually award someone
If
something
they're really
that's
sick
relevant,
and
yeah.
they need, and normally when somebody's sick and needs
I mean, it's
sick leave
it's a requirement that you have a critical illness or
and
someone
have
in your
used all of
family.
yours, and
Right.
most time you probably will have
Right.
already used all of yours, and that's why you're,
And the pool's just not accumulating
No.
much.
And the rules and regulations in the pool are pretty stringent, that Michelle, Susie, and myself have to go by. It's like you have to qualify through like so much documentation from the medical profession, and then if you use it so much, you have to come back and recertify, through the medical profession. So it's not something that's just doled out and used free. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
And there's only certain open enrollment periods too.
right. We only do that twice a year.
Correct.
There's no conflict with FMLA or anything of that nature with?
Did we put that you have to be on FMLA at the same time? Yes. So, no, there's not.
I have a motion by Larry.
Second.
I have a second by Kenneth. Any further question or discussion for Paula or Susie or Michelle? All in favor of said motion? That's 5 for, 0 against. Item number 14, discuss, take action on implementing a charge for use of community center. I don't know who wants to lead that discussion.
This is number 3.
I feel like it's time for us to start charging a little bit, try to recoup our expenses up there.
Do you think that it's possible that we could exempt county employees from that? Since we didn't get a raise or anything this year.
Well, we're gonna have to exempt the 4-H and a couple of little organizations anyway, because we asked them to use that instead of ECMO.
Oh,
So there's gonna be some exempt to it. But,
And we'll probably have to put some kind of date that we started, because I know she's got it booked probably through January, February. But I mean, we can take all that into consideration if we decide to do
there
it.
was a transitional thing that we did with the, when we raised the rates of the senior citizens
There you go.
to just kind of,
yeah, definitely. But, you know, me as a person that normally uses once a year, I wouldn't have any problem paying $25 or $30 just to try to help out if air conditioning broke down, appliances
Right.
broke down, you know, and just the general maintenance and, you know.
And I don't know if you and Pat talked about, Pat does all the booking for it,
Yes.
but she does, she's very uncomfortable as far as the money, sort of like, she said
Oh.
she'd feel better if it went through your office
Yeah.
like the senior center does,
yes.
where she would book it, they would come and pay you in advance to use it.
Mhm.
Is that
Oh, yes,
good?
yes.
Okay. What do you two, John, think?
Well, just need some discussion about, you know, Susie's suggestion. We need to put some clauses in there that certain people would not have to pay the fee.
Nonprofit, we have a nonprofit list for the Senior Citizen Center, but they have to be on it. Well, I guess we kind of changed that, didn't we? If they have that, what's it called?
Approved ruling letter or exemption letter.
Yeah, we let them do it.
Well, the only thing we get into, just like we do at the center, if one family member or one person lives in Somervell County, they can draw it for a
Oh,
nonprofit
yes.
from out of the county, so
Yes.
that's not a widespread thing we can just do.
What about the deposit? Are we thinking about going up on the deposit too, maybe? Or no?
Already
I don't
got-
know if that's been an issue or not, because Pat normally just handles that
Right.
if they don't get their deposit back.
Dave and them go by and look at it, and see what
Mhm.
shape it's in.
That it's
And
clean.
she either gives it back or they give it back.
Yeah.
I don't know how many deposits we keep, or anything, so.
I guess I would get that if we kept the deposit,
I would probably
but
leave,
I don't remember one since I've been here.
would probably leave the deposit, and still have to pay the fee, what I think. See what the court thinks.
I think what we're looking at is what, $6,000 budget?
Yeah.
And there's something, it's got some age now, some price. We're just trying to recoup what's the cost.
Yeah.
Would you know a frequency, is it pretty much every weekend or something?
Yes. Yes, I believe I heard Pat telling the lady this morning, that she's got it booked all the way through until New Year's Eve. She said New Year's Eve is empty. It's the only one that's empty. And then there's like weekends into February that's already booked.
You keep a lot of bookings year-round on
Uh-huh.
weekends.
Family reunions.
Yeah, and stuff like that, or weekends go. But I feel like that even during the week, some
Yes.
people use
I think the Girl Scouts use it, some other groups use it in the evening during the week.
Did you have a fee in mind?
take the 6,000,
Divide it by,
52,
as
divided by 2 per day,
If
that's
we-
$58 a day, 2-day weekend. For the 6,000. But, you know, that's, you want, are you looking at a daily rate when you thought about this?
Per party.
If I had-
Well, per party,
family reunion, small family reunion,
per party.
okay.
Like 25 per event or something like that. And I'm just throwing it out there, that's not the, I'm just saying like,
Well, if you just put out that, I mean, you figured it's used twice a week for 52 weeks, and they come down close to $30 to try to recoup the 6,000. Not that we're gonna try to recoup the 6,000, we wanna try to set this money aside to,
In case the refrigerator goes out.
or the air conditioning goes out. or
Yes.
Buildings start falling apart.
roof,
Yeah.
Do you think $25 would put it down for one people?
I don't think so, not really. I mean, I have a family
People
reunion
usually
there
say,
every year.
I don't know, maybe people use it every month.
Well, my family are all from out of town and they're just amazed that we get it for free. So I don't think it would be a problem to pass the hat.
The 25 once a year is not, I don't know about.
Yeah.
use. But it's being
Well-
used more if they use it.
Yeah.
You know, when the fees went up at the senior citizen, more people started using it.
exactly correct.
I'm not opposed to a fee for the purpose of trying to recuperate some of the costs associated with maintaining the equipment and facility. I don't think it's a profit center,
No.
so a nominal charge, I'm not opposed to.
Plus the employees we use to clean it every week and empty trash. I guess the next thing will be what we put in place, how we charge, who we charge, so on and so forth. Nonprofit or everybody or.
I guess we need to look at this and see who uses it most or.
Okay. Let's table this until we can look at historical data and review that and come up with a conclusion as to the impact on various groups that utilize that facility.
And I can get Pat to print out the schedule for the last several months and the ones coming up and distribute that. Put on November agenda,
Yeah.
and review it again. Is that good with you? And then that way we have an idea of frequency.
And who we want, if we want to include an exemption
Okay.
with that.
So is everybody in agreement to table this until November agenda? And we'll get the data put together that we can discuss it? Sure. All right. Table this item until November agenda, which I'm not sure exactly what day it is, but it's all right.
It's in November.
There you go, it's in November.
14, I think.
All right. Item number 15, approved county treasury report. Seems like we've seen that go by us here earlier.
I make a motion to approve the county treasurer report.
I have a motion by Kenneth.
Second.
I have a second by Don. Any further questions or discussion?
Who's ready to see that number go with?
All in favor of said motion? 5 for, 0 against. Receive and approve monthly reports from county departments. Item number 16.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Larry to accept and approve monthly reports.
Second.
I have a second by Kenneth. Any further questions or comment? All in favor said motion, 5 for, 0 against. Item number 17, discuss take action on equipment purchase.
This is being submitted by Frank at the Expo Center. He would like to purchase a chute for $3,300. This was a non-budgeted piece of equipment, but he is indicating that he needs this so that he can run a second arena for some of these events that he's getting from Stephenville that need the two different venues at the same time. So he's got McCoy's willing to supply it for $3,300, which from what I understand is at a discount because they want to put their logo on the piece of equipment.
Also, the chute would be replaced on I think a 3-year at no cost.
That's what I understand, yes, sir.
So it's initial cost, and then it appears to be perpetual thereafter with the new chute every 3 years. And their payback is advertisement on the chute. The reason that this is identified is in the Expo's effort to entice or bring more events to the Expo. He has to set up both arenas for roving purposes as we allow for much larger events to be booked for this. And that was part of my understanding, the initiative to drive costs down and bring profits up.
Yeah, the other thing on this is when you have a big roping event, if you've got two arenas, they can be simultaneously doing their ropings, and it doesn't go till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So that entices the groups to come to
Correct.
get through with it early.
You know, Frank figured out allocating the money.
We're working on that, but we'll look at it. Yes, okay.
Is that shoot for different events, cap roping, deer wrestling?
I think it's anything that you can shove in a chute.
Yeah,
So we could throw commissioners in there and see if it works. I mean,
Don't say that 5 times real fast.
yeah, it's the same type of shoe we use for all those.
Yes, sir.
Well, I make a motion to approve purchases of the equipment.
I have a motion by Kenneth, and I have a second by John. Do we have any further questions or discussion? All in favor of said motion? It's 5 for, 0 against. Number 18 is approved budget transfers. Back to you, Brian.
We'll take these one at a time. The real ugly looking one, which is 7 pages of transfers. This is basically the last one of the year. You know, we just had to move money around in order to cover all the expenditures as we're required under the Constitution. We can't expend a line item beyond what its budgeted amount is. So this takes care of the remaining fiscal year 2016 items. Nothing really large or significant on here. Just a lot of moving it around just to cover every line item.
Cleans it up, finishes out.
Yes, sir.
You reconcile the books.
Indeed, sir.
I have a motion by Larry.
Second.
I have a second by John. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor of said motion? 5 for, 0 against.
And part 2, might as well start the year off early. And so I gave you some for this fiscal year, 2017. The first one, I think I shared with you in the email. One of the sheriff's computer maintenance agreements came in a little bit more than we were expecting, so needed $1,531 there. And then also, the second one actually is a good one. I think I told you I'm going to go ahead and pay the Tahoe note today. That pays it off, even though the due date isn't until November. But we're going to pay it regardless, and what that did is that shaved off $325 of interest. So by paying it early. So we'll go ahead and do that. So I moved $324.90 back into contingency for another use.
That's final payment.
Yes, sir, on the Tahoes. So I didn't see the advantage of waiting to pay in November.
I make a motion we approve the budget transfers.
I have a motion by John, second by Larry. Any further questions, discussion, or comment? All in favor of said motion? 5 for, 0 against. 19, approve remainder of county bills.
The total is $667,746. Note on this one that's what I would consider non-recurring is we're making the hold your applause final payment on the ladder truck for $223,000. It also includes the $58,000 payment to First Financial to pay off the Tahoes. And unfortunately, it does include a $30,000 reimbursement to Texas Juvenile Justice for state monies that we did not spend last year. We have to turn those back over to them. And it does include $102,000 to Net Data for our annual software maintenance agreement on our computer system. So those are a lot of non-recurring, just one-time hits.
Over 400,000.
Right there at the beginning of
Right
the year.
there.
Yeah, but it is the last ladder and the last Tahoe.
Good.
And that's over 50% of that.
Yes, sir. I don't know if they send us like a rabbit's foot keychain because we paid it off or what, but
Make a motion to pay their bills.
I have a motion by Kenneth to pay the remainder of our bills.
Second.
I have a second by Larry. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor of said motion? It's 5 for, 0 against. Item number 20, open seal proposals for purchase county property lot number 2, block 9, to Gibbs Industrial Park, which is containing 7.19 acres.
we have one submission that is from VRC Enterprises. And they are here in Glenrose. And that is the only submission we have.
We will take a recess and let you review that, and then we'll go in executive session, come back in and review that.